Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so it's 6:30 in the morning. I figured I'd do another therapy session because um, I just had a few things on my mind. Nothing that would pertain to myself at the moment, but something that I think may help a few people who watch me here and there, depending on what walk of life they're in. And I always look to try to give people a little bit of my perspective from the little spot that I sit in, looking at things as I do through my lens. So this is what I'm sensing is an overall thing right now. Um, Celebrities, athletes, all public figures to a degree, depending on what your space is, what it is that you do, what it is that you're famous for, what have you. I think there's a shift in what the public is feeling right now in regards to celebrities and anybody that has understanding or means. I'm looking at the American Music Awards and I'm feeling in myself a shift in how I'm looking at the people who are celebrating being there. And I don't think that I'm isolated and feeling that way. And that's why I'm trying to bring this to the table, because I don't think there's nothing wrong with these guys celebrating being at the award show and ultimately doing what it is that every single generation has done before them. We've celebrated this forever. There's nothing wrong with being a celebrity and all of that. But what I'm saying is, the business of what it is that puts you together is now on our minds. That's what I'm trying to express. Who's putting y'all together, the contracts, the situations that have been brought up in our minds about how you haven't been paid fairly, about how the music is used to exploit people, about how just the beginning stages of what that means and where it all goes. We let our minds run. We start thinking about all kinds of different things. And it's like, what people need to understand is a lot of times in the previous generations, those things were thoughts that were in our heads, but not on the forefront of our minds. They were in our thoughts to a degree, but it wasn't something people were ready to have a conversation about or ready to confront or even stop, dare I say. And right now, they're there. They're there. So if you're celebrating being behind that curtain, so to speak, you're being looked at a certain way that you weren't looked at maybe just a week ago. And I don't know how long that's going to last, but people are looking for a certain level of authenticity that maybe from behind the curtain you will not be able to provide. So how do you navigate that without turning into something that people don't like? I don't know, but what I'm saying is I'm sensing it, and it's time for some people who would otherwise be blindsided by that to not be. And I got a feeling a couple of them may actually watch me, and I just don't want y'all to get blindsided by the overall sentiment, the temperature in the room, that I don't think the people who are behind the curtain are ready to face. It's them who people are ready to say, give us some understanding as to why we shouldn't rebel against you. I think that's where we're at. We want to know why we shouldn't make sure that our kids are not run by the same nonsense that this generation and previous generations have been run by. So the people who celebrate being behind the curtain, those who are speaking up from behind the curtain on behalf of those people, they need to understand that they're being looked at as such for the first time in a certain way by the masses. And with the return of Donald Trump, so to speak, and how he basically started the process of people thinking this way in his own way, talking about fake news and all of that, this is like the cusp of what I think could be the end of what we would celebrate in regards to blindly following celebrities as they live unhappy lives from behind celebrity. I just don't think that they can ever will ever go back to a space where we idolize people in that way without the business practices changing, without what so many of them have complained about, and what we believe so many of them have succumbed to changing. Nothing about Michael Jackson and so many others. It's one of those situations where you have to wonder if they were murdered, man. When you consider the treachery and the different things that you just have already unearthed in looking at what's going on, at the things that we're just looking at on the surface, you have to wonder if they've silenced certain people. You have to wonder if they've drugged certain people beyond understanding. You have to wonder what they've gone to do through to keep this going. And those who have helped it along the way from generation to generation, celebrating, knowing that it takes them rebelling and sacrificing their careers and their legend status or whatever, putting that on the line so that those who are doing these business practices the wrong way can not have so much to build off of it, and not have so much in place to keep them doing things the way that they're doing so confidently. They have to change, and there's no leverage for them not to, because of how much compliance they've received for so many damn generations. The people who were just too selfish, too scared, and too guilty to stand up for themselves instead of upholding their power. And it's wrong. It's wrong because they don't hold their power in ways that are fair. They've allowed themselves to think they're gods and moving out of control. And now, as a result, we don't look at the people they prop up and give all of their money to and invest all their money to the same way. Now you look you look like someone who's going to keep this crap going for our kids to suffer from. You look like someone who's going to make it so that the only way our children are going to be able to succeed is if they take the bag that you're taking and be silent about stuff that may matter. And while today's matters only matter as much as they do, maybe tomorrow's matters will be much more important, is in terms of life or death. And if our kids are quiet, what does that mean for their souls? We can't let the practice of what you're doing lead to other souls doing things that are much worse, because you continue to keep the practice of what is, that is ultimately volcanoing, or rather avalanching into something that's just out of control. Obviously the power is out of control, the practices are archaic, and they have no interest in changing. They don't see the wisdom in changing, apparently. Hopefully a conversation like this will reach the right eardrum so that they'll consider it, maybe give it a prayer or two. But that is what is necessary. So that's what I've come to say. It's like, look, if y'all behind the curtain, y'all getting y'all money, it's y'all bag, y'all want to keep everything going, you don't want it all to fall apart. You've already put in years and years and years to get to this point. It was your dream. You don't want to hear this. You don't give a damn. You already won. But what I'm telling you is, you got people. You got a legacy. And while you may go on the ground with that legacy intact, as these truths get unearthed, that legacy will be revisited. That's what people need to definitely understand. What is done in the dark, friends. It's a lot of y'all that think y'all got away with stuff. Y'all smiling, nah. Fam, they gonna snitch. That's what you need to understand. Just like the streets. But once the unearthing of what it is that's been going on behind the curtain goes on, they're gonna tell us who all complied with them, who worked with them, who didn't, who's on their side and all that. And if you do wrong, they're gonna hit you in public for all of us to see, just like we know. That's why I'm not mad at the Kyrie Irvings. That's why I'm not mad at these guys for apologizing. Jaylen Brown have to come out and say, I support this, and apologize every 5 minutes. I mean, Jaylen Brown going back and forth so much, it's funny, because it's like they got him wrapped up, but that boy really believes, like he's a part of this generation that really don't care. But I know what's happening. He got people around him who are intertwined, who understand the bigger picture. It's like, no, you're going to collapse everything. No, you're going to cause us everything. So it's like, yeah, I am sorry, but at the same time, I feel right is right. And what he's going to find out is the environment itself will mold itself so that him standing on the right side of things will ultimately be the right thing to do. You don't have to stand over there with those who scared Jaylen Brown. You don't have to do that, brother. Because even though it's wise for them to do that in this environment, the environment is changing. That's what I'm here to say. It's people like Jaylen Brown who are going to be the ones that we look at and say, yep, we want to hear from him, not Shaq, not Chalk. We don't want to hear from the dudes. We want to hear from Kyrie. Because those are the guys who we know are actually serious about changing things in regards to what it is that we're referring to, which really, truly matters. This is art, man, and it's compromised. And the business practices that are in place must be understood so that we can keep going. But those who are masters of these practices, nah, man, they don't want to share the information. They don't believe that sharing that information and allowing us to have those practices is good for everybody, or good for them, or what have you, man. They want to hoard everything for themselves, and because of it, we all run around confused. And that is going to stop. That's going to stop. You know what I'm saying? We're going to crack open the books, and we're going to find out what's in them. We're going to find out the history, and then we're going to find out what else is going on. And we're going to educate ourselves, and it starts here. So those who are sitting up celebrating, hey, we got our bag, but we going to keep quiet on real stuff, man, you look like the C word, some type of animal, I'm telling you. And it's not a good thing. And I know that's the environment you're in, but that's why this video is important, because you need to understand it's changing. And people like myself, common man, we're looking at you a certain way that we never did before. And it's like, these conversations are going to be more and more prevalent because we on camera. This ain't 1984, 85 when we look at the tabloids, you know what I'm saying? And turn on TV Entertainment Tonight and that's all that's talking to us. Nah. They hear from me too. And I'm telling you, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I know where to point. You need to go look at that because that looks funny to me. And smarter people will find out what's actually going on. And that's the bottom line. So as far as I can tell, man, all my celebrity friends, everybody who watches me, my basketball friends or whoever, listen, man, this ain't the time to position yourself as if what's been going on is going to continue going on forever. It's okay to have that as a variable, but you need to see more variables where things are changing, and it's important for you to start taking stances and maybe they telling you, ain't in your best interest to take. Weigh it responsibly is what I would say. Make your decisions according to what you can, and then know if you can't do nothing about it, you just can't do nothing about it, but at least be aware. Some of y'all smart as hell, so I know y'all be able to communicate. Do so. That's what it is, but don't just fall on the sword. And let this continue for your generations and generations of future black people and the creative people of color to have to continue to adhere to this bullcrap, man. This is absolute garbage. Even if it's stemmed in the right ideas, it's being approached the wrong way. It's being used in a very, very imbalanced way. And it's okay to look at it as such. When we move on from this, we keep the practice. Hey, when somebody disrespects, we still want to make sure that they know they shouldn't. We ain't got to throw away the understanding that things shouldn't be said a certain way. We just need to make sure that we're applying our understandings better, defining our hatred words in a way that truly puts people in a position to be defined as such. That's what this all is all about. Being run by people who have no interest in that type of balance. And continuing to let them do so just because they know how and have convinced everybody else that they can't learn how. That's bullcrap. We're smart. All of us can learn. What they do, we can learn. It's a facts. I'm tired of this. He's not intelligent. He can't go to our school. He don't have enough money and stuff. I'm going to continue to speak against that. And those of us who are getting generational wealth, that should be the focus of what it is we're doing. If I'm being completely honest with you, if you're a trillionaire black person, probably the best thing you can do for your people is educate them. Because that's what we're lacking. Not only education, but a desire to be educated. We don't know the first thing about wanting to learn information. For what? A lot of times we think we got it all figured out and the agreements around us tell us this is how we're supposed to be. So this is it. Shoot our brother. This is it. Go outside, throw up our gangs. This is it. I aim for whatever. Let's try to see if we can find our way into celebrity so we can get bound by one of these contracts. That's what we aiming for. Success for us. So we can be posed in front of the American Music Awards. Look at my picture. Hooray, I made it. They effectively got me by the balls. Now I cannot stand up for my damn people. And look at this. Here's another thing I don't like. Every time something happens where it's a bunch of people, and I have to just say this, in regards to black folks, and the folks that were coming to support Kyrie Irving at the Barclays Center. I don't know what they stand for. I have no idea, man. They wear purple and gold. I don't know. But I saw a bunch of black people come to support Kyrie Irving. That made me feel good. Now, if they stand for the wrong stuff, shame on me, I guess, for not assuming that they stand for the wrong stuff immediately when they're coming to the defense of somebody who's been bullied. But honestly, that's not where my head went. I went to a space where I saw black folks supporting him, and I just wish that I was there to do the same thing, representing myself, not anybody else's group. So as far as I could tell, if they were standing there for the wrong reasons, I wish I was standing there for the right reasons. And that's pretty much the end of it. He has people who support him for the right reasons. You cannot disarm that at all. There's no way to say, those guys are bad, so Kyrie's bad. No, you got me too. I would have been standing out there if I could get myself there. At the end of the day, man, it's not about my color. It's not about whether or not he was offending people with what he did. It's about what are they doing in response to that, and is it too much? And is it done for the right reasons, and are those reasons really, really evil? And the answer is, I'm looking at, I'm just trying to figure that out just like everybody else. It don't feel right, though. The energy reads wrong. And I'm going to speak up on it. And so as far as what I was trying to express, I don't want to have to come up here and qualify what I just said to you so that you understand I don't support some bad guys. Some black people came to support a black person, and that's a good thing, man. Can we start there? Can we get to the point where we don't have to explain why we are appreciative of that? Can we get to a point where we're not sitting here saying, I'm sorry that we supported these guys because I don't really know what they stand for, but, it's like, I don't want to read that from Jaylen Brown. And I know he's being forced to type something like that as he supports the people who were standing outside for Kyrie Irving. He typed in on his Twitter the word energy, as if to say that's the type of energy we want to see supporting our guy, which it is. I would like to see that type of energy supporting myself when I stand on this hill and say what I say if they come to get me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we want to see. I'm not looking to say, well, let me find out if they're the opposite of the Ku Klux Klan. If they are, let me back away. Like, that's not because we need support. You know what I'm saying? Because we're getting pushed down by a whole force behind us that has 1 trillion times more money than us. Damn right, we got to stand in numbers. This is what we got. And as far as I can tell, there's no such thing as opposite of Ku Klux Klan. They stand alone. I ain't never heard of nothing like that on our side. If they exist, they're somewhere else in a different land. They ain't here. Not that I know of. So you can call them a clan, but it just look like a bunch of folks that are fighting against the same thing we're talking about, man. They're just a little louder about it. You know what I mean? So as far as I can tell, it's like, all right, let's just be honest. We don't know. A lot of us don't know a lot. We're learning. That's what this is about. Kyrie's trying to help teach people what it is he's learned. We've had things depraved of us. We've had things kept from us. It's not like we walked away from our truth and therefore have abandoned it and now are doing some weird stuff. No, we're looking for that. We're not deliberately stupid. It's been depraved of us. We're not stupid at all. We've had information kept from us. And there's a difference, even though we've been taught otherwise. And so as I sit here and I say we're using our smart brains, and we're finding real information, and as we find that information, people we're taking it back to are saying, no, we don't want to debate that information. We'd rather scold you for bringing it to us. Look at the truth you found. Shame on you for unearthing it. Nah, that's what we're getting, and we're not happy about it. Never mind if the truth is real or not. If it ain't real truth, then let's talk about it. Let's debate it. Bring me something that'll help me understand what it is you're looking at so I know that you got the real thing. But the reality is you can't do that. The information we got is just foolproof. Ain't no way about it. Ain't no way around it. And so at this point, it's just about people understanding that. Looking at the movie they told us not to watch and finding that truth as I did. Right there, as Kyrie posted it for us to find. And they put him through hell because of it. And they want me to want to continue to see them in charge. Man, are you kidding me? You waged war against me. As far as I can tell, you made me concerned about whether or not my talented kids should be able to seek success in this country because of you. I can't even want my kid to go into the NBA, NFL, or into the music business if he happens to be talented. All these different things I'm excited about. If my kid happens to take that and parlay it into a future, I'm afraid for him because of you. And you think I'm gonna not use my voice every single day to speak against that bullcrap like my ancestors taught me to? Are you not paying attention? I was taught how to fight you by people who had less power than I do. And I'm telling you, you need to smarten up in regards to understand the temperature of the room. It's not the time to start flexing like you're God, because the real God, who's above us, who's not me, who's not you, is essentially trying to tell us something, I believe, through all of this. And I hope we're both smart enough to understand it. There's more people than us in the room. There's more people to consider. And we all going to be family soon, so we need to teach each other how to handle these problems and not parlay the same hate that got us here for our kids to take and run with. Should that not be the purpose of doing things correctly? Should that not be the purpose of swallowing our pride and making sure our power is used correctly and making sure people have opportunities that are fair? Should that not be the reason? If not to understand that who you are may not be who you are tomorrow because of the presence of people mating. You Jew today, you black tomorrow. We black today, we Jew tomorrow. But most importantly, we have to understand that today. We don't know where this thing is headed, to be honest. We could all be gone tomorrow if we don't learn how to survive today. We could be parlaying our kids into wiping us all out with these atomic bombs that our ancestors created for us, that are left here for us to figure out how to either get, out of the atmosphere, or basically somehow undo so that they don't ultimately destroy us all. Those things exist. We know they're here, waiting for somebody to piss somebody enough off to push a button. We're passing our hatred and our frustrations and our concerns and our lies and our selfishness to our kids to use those weapons, while we're sitting here celebrating our pictures. Yeah, we're at the music awards. I got what I need. Forget y'all. Yeah, okay. And then 30, 40 years from now, the reality of what it is I'm talking about meets us all. You're still alive to see it, a lot of y'all, too. He ain't gone yet. God gonna make sure you see what all y'all stuff did. That's why I'm trying to stop it, man. I'm trying to help y'all see. Read the room now. See the bigger picture now, and just start not doing all of that. People behind the curtain, change your ways, man. Change. I'm begging you, for the fate of what it is that you're causing meets all of us. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.